Our scene opens as the sun crests over the horizon. It is morning, a cool summer morning, but you know that as soon as you start getting up and moving around, the jungle humidity will stick to you and have you just sweaty and miserable.
You see a woman, her name on her tag would be Ivy. She has reddish brown hair, kind of like an auburn brown. Right now it's just in a braid tied down long behind her back. You see she has a faint scar running through her eyebrow on her right side. She is right now. Oh boy, I'm trying to think of what I would be wearing. I guess just some fatigue pants. You see a little pile to the side where she has her trusty leather jacket and fedora that she will wear frequently through her travels. But yes, you just see a woman that appears probably in her mid-30s somewhere. And she just gets up and stretches and looks around, takes a look at the sky.
Yeah, and as you're looking around, you notice that the Joe's tent is unzipped and wide open. Um, you see that the sleeping bags are still inside and they're empty. You also see their boots and gear are all left behind.
There's some disgruntled kind of grumbling noises, and she sort of half staggers out of the tent, just like, kind of rubbing sleep out of her eyes. She's got her camo pants on and some high combat boots, wearing only a tank top at this point in time, but she has a sort of military bomber jacket in her hand, and she rubs her eyes sleepily. She has dyed bright purple hair, cut very, very, very short, that is at this point sticking literally every which way. And she kind of squints at the sun for a minute before opening and putting on a pair of aviator glasses and grumbling something about the heat and the sun, and kind of still rubbing her eyes, swings the jacket over her shoulder and walks over to where Ivy is. And the name on her sort of lopsided name tag reads Flash.
You see Wrangler come out of the tent. She has a very large, like, tool satchel that she's carrying with her. She's still, like, trying to button up all of her things and get all her stuff together. This bag is really weighing her down, and she's got this one massive wrench just like tucked up under an arm. And she comes running out in a hurry, like, did I miss it? What?
Did the fellas say they were going somewhere this morning? And Ivy will just walk over and look inside the tent.
No, but I'm not their mother, so.
True enough. They left all their gear. Okay, well, this is a morning. Flash, you did, nobody said yesterday that they were going anywhere, did they?
Nobody said anything to me. I was talking to Vax last night, cracking some jokes. Didn't get any implication about anything. I mean, and they left all their stuff too, even their kicks. That's crazy.
It's fucking idiots. How many times do I have to tell you guys? You don't leave. Jesus. All right. Oh God. What the hell? She'll walk inside and just look around. And is there anything in there that really shouldn't be there? Like, are their shoes missing? Like, did they take their shoes even, or?
No, you're noticing shoes are still around. Let's have you make the first roll.
Ooh.
Oh,
I think that's gonna be like an alertness roll. Yeah, and so
okay.
I decide the difficulty. This is gonna be it's gonna be simple, so it's a lower DC to meet.
A 4 and a 4.
As you're looking around, you see the boots, you see even like certain jackets, you see items that they wouldn't have left here willingly. And then as like that thought is kind of crossing your mind, you see there seems to be a small amount of like blood, almost from like maybe a punch or some sort of cut, kind of spattered onto one of the sleeping bags.
Shit. Okay. Something happened here last night. Did anyone hear anything?
I was out like a light. I didn't hear a thing.
No,
Uh,
couldn't say
I
I did.
Ivy would walk out of the tent and look on the ground and look for footprints, basically just tracks. Who was here? How many men? Stuff like that.
Yeah. While Ivy's looking around, what are Wrangler and Flash doing?
I'd like to take a look around the inside of the tent. I'm gonna start probably where I would have known Bax would have been sleeping, because he's my buddy, and just see if I can find any personal effects, any clues, anything that was left behind. And I'm not against actually like rummaging through his stuff if it's still left behind. So just digging through it, see what I can find.
Perfect. What is Wrangler up to?
So I'm gonna follow Ivy and try to see if there's any tracks leading out of here, or if anything else seems to be taken from the camp. Any gear,
Right.
supplies, type deals.
Okay. I think that is an alertness roll for Wrangler and Flash. Ivy, you could make a survival roll.
Ooh.
On my
Oh,
alertness
so
roll, I
much
got a
dice.
4.
Okay.
That's a 9 for Flash.
17 for Ivy.
Nice. Wrangler, there's a moment where you're looking around and you're like, man, it's still dark out. And you're realizing that you're just still wearing your glasses.
Ivy, did you see? I was trying to look with my. Hold on, let me fix that. All right. So, what do I see now?
You got a little something on your face. You got more stuff on your face than me. How's that possible?
That seems fine.
Oh boy. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, were you drinking last night? Is that why you didn't hear anything?
I mean, I wasn't not drinking.
Also, I do snore pretty loud, so it probably carried a little through the camp.
Yeah, like
be honest.
a lot.
Who's
Like a lot.
snoring?
You should get that. You should get that checked, by the way.
Did you lug one of the sleep apnea masks into here too, along with the booze? You too.
Would have been efficient, probably for next time.
Put it in
That's-
requisition.
That's probably why we didn't hear anything. Okay. I already love you too.
Flash, you're digging around in the stuff in the tents and you find something that kind of makes your stomach drop, only because, like, you know how important Vax's medical bag is.
Oh fuck! Did he leave? Is it here?
It's here.
Fuck! I'm just gonna shout "fuck" or really loud
From inside the tent.
From inside the tent.
What happened?
Fuck!
What happened? What did you find?
I'm just gonna hold up the bag and say he would not have parted with this willingly. I don't know where they are, but they did not go of their own free will. I'm also gonna hold on to the bag.
Seems our boys have gotten themselves into a pickle again.
I was gonna say it wouldn't be the first time.
No. I feel like we should get bonuses for this, like the amount of times.
We should get a raise. We should get a raise.
That's ridiculous.
Easily. Absolutely, we should. Okay. All right. Well, I guess, are we just packing up camp and heading after these dumbasses?
We see it. I mean, did you find any direction, anything leading?
As
Let's see.
as you're kind of glancing down, knowing that, like, you're pretty sure there was a struggle here, so you're looking for signs of that in the earth itself, and you do see right outside the tent just a couple like scuffs in the mud, like as if someone was fighting to not be dragged away, and then you do see footprints that begin leading off down kind of the trail that you took, not a actual trail, but the path that you took to get up to this campsite. You see footprints leading off.
I find it interesting that they left us behind and didn't take us. I can only. Does that mean they expect us to show up? Either way, I think we gotta be
I don't
sneaky.
know whether to feel like lucky or insulted. I still haven't made up my mind.
I'm gonna operate under the assumption that we were just so terrifying. They were like, nah, not gonna mess with them.
Yeah.
Boys were like, easy prey. We are just like, whoa, out of their league. That's what I'm gonna operate on. I don't care what the real reason is, but there is a solid chance it's a trap. You're right. I heard the connotation there.
Maybe they saw you with the goggles, thought you were some kind of jungle creature.
I mean, hey,
It's possible.
between your goggles and my snoring, whew, you know.
Could have been like a monster coming out.
There is a
Seriously
wildcat in that
intimidating.
tent, and I am not going in there.
There's some creature that has taken up residence over there. We're not going to mess with it.
Some kind of Sasquatch, jungle Sasquatch.
Jungle Sasquatch.
Oh no, we can't defeat it. Run.
I am
Maybe they were
rewriting the
rescuing
mission.
them. Yeah. They were rescuing the boys from the jungle Sasquatch. It wasn't actually a kidnapping.
That's what it was. That's what it
Mhm.
was. All right. Well, I guess let's just pack up, pack light. I guess just follow those tracks. That's the best we have to go on right now. But let's keep our eyes peeled. I'm a little worried there's going to be traps. Everybody keep your eyes on your feet.
Sounds like a good plan. I will also grab Vax's med kit and carry that with me as well when I go get my sniper rifle.
Perfect. Yeah, just throwing straps over your shoulders.
Are there
Right.
any other weapons or tool or like anything else that is belonging to the Joes that we should bring with us, like Scald said, in other than just the medic bag?
Yeah, all of their weapons are here. And you do have like a big duffel bag that you can kind of like toss their weapons into if you'd like, and kind of have one person carry. Are you taking like the time to pack up the tents and everything as well, or are you just kind of leaving those and heading out?
I think
Well-
time might be of the essence. The guys are definitely going to want their weapons, but I think we could do without the rest.
Yeah.
Also, whoever's moving Boss Man's grenades, be careful. Some of them tick if you shake them too hard.
I got it. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Just keep your goggles. Keep your goggles up.
It's eye protection. That's what they're there for.
No, I know. I love it. All right. Oh, God, we definitely need to
So
raise
do-
everybody.
Do we know anything about this area? You know, we've been stationed here. Do we know of enemy encampments nearby? Anything in the general direction of the dragging? A road?
So the encampment that you had just finished clearing was quite a ways away. You with Ivy's lead basically trekked up to a spot that you thought was hidden well enough. As for these drag marks, they're not giving any sign of any certain direction. Not yet, anyway. You might just have to follow them for a little while and see kind of where they veer off. You know general locations of other camps, and knowing that you're kind of looking for that, I'll fill you in on whether you think they're getting closer to a camp or another as you're following them.
All right, Ivy. Well, I guess we've got the guns, we've got some gear. I'd say we leave the tents because tents are replaceable.
Agreed. If we need to set up a shelter, we'll figure something out. If we have a tarp, we'll be okay. All right, let's go. Everybody, just keep your eyes about you.
Okay, so we hit this montage as you're gathering up all the gear. As your character is gearing up, describe kind of what the camera sees that you are like strapping onto your shoulders or putting into holsters. What does the camera see that defines who you are as a soldier?
Ivy is put on. She's got an old leather jacket. She puts on her father's old fedora that she usually wears on all of her treks. She'll have a machete. She's got a hunting knife kind of stuck in her boot. You'll see that she has a big recurve bow that she's just going to have strapped to her back. A belt and a hip holster that you'll see has a bunch of little compartments and pockets and things that hold certain ammunition for her bow. She has some tactical armor underneath the jacket, or I guess above the jacket, whichever makes more sense. Nothing very major. Maybe just like a shoulder pad, some knee pads. I'm gonna leave. I'm not sure, Carrie, if the ghillie suit is something I can keep on my person, or if that's something that I should leave behind. I don't know about that one.
Walk out looking like a living bush.
I'm just like, hi everyone, let's go squatching. But yes, I'm not sure if that's something realistically I can take with me.
I think
Might have to leave that one behind.
We'll say there's a moment where you're looking at it and you're contemplating, and the audience doesn't know whether or not you've brought it.
Okay.
So that if something happens and you can argue it with like a story point later,
Okay.
and you can use it.
Other than that, though, just small little pockets that I've kind of modified my jacket and stuff that just hold assorted little things that I may or may not need. But that's basically what I look like.
As I'm getting ready, I've got one very large wrench that I keep in like a little, like the cargo pant loop, on my pants right there. I have a standard issue pistol, but as the camera pans to me, I'm like over my stuff, and there is what looks to be a mostly put back together flamethrower that I'm hastily shoving shit back into, duct taping the barrel back together, and you start seeing the bits of soot that are already on me, and I'm like wiping my face more, and you can figure out where it's coming from. But I kind of like look around, do one more loop of duct tape, and then throw it on my back, and then I'm just like, and a whole plume of just dust and debris comes off of me, and I'm good to go.
Flash starts, works her way from the bottom up. So combat boots, she sticks a knife into one of her boots. Over her very ratty and probably at this point sweat-stained tank top, she's going to pull over a kind of lightweight tactical vest. And then over that, like a standard issue bomber jacket with the furry collar, which is probably going to be too hot for this weather, but she'll wear it for now. Still has the aviators on, sort of tries to pull her hair into something semi-resembling acceptable. And then puts another dagger on one hip, has a handgun holstered on the other, and over her back she slings a sniper rifle before picking up some of the supplies. And as she walks out of the tent, she kind of pauses, looks down, and there's like a little gasket in the dirt, and she picks this up. She goes, "Wrangler, did you take apart Athena's coolant system again? This shouldn't be here."
No, I did routine maintenance, if that's what you're referring to. And that is an extra part.
Better not find anything missing when I get back.
I'm gonna look over at Ivy, be like,
I'll be just like, I didn't see anything. I was sleeping with the snoring.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You just will awkwardly start walking off so as not to be in the crosshairs.
And as you are walking away from this campsite, the camera kind of is like panning up to follow you out. And as it pans up enough, we see Athena, was just hidden away enough from this campsite. But as we are gaining height, we see just right on the edge of like this, almost cliffside on this jungle. What does Athena look like? What is Athena, I guess, to the audience?
Athena is my baby. That being a very large helicopter. I believe it's a 6-seater potentially, but very large kind of open body helicopter with guns that can be manned on the sides by people who are in the back. Probably at this point covered with leaves and such to help her blend in a little bit better. And as Flash kind of walks off, she'll look over to the sort of the hillside where she knows Athena is and be like, "You stay safe. I'll be back, baby."
We are following these footsteps, these footprints, in like the grass and mud of this jungle, heading down the path that you kind of came up to scout, Ivy. And as you begin getting closer and closer to basically two separate directions, you start seeing an actual path made by tire tracks. You see tire tracks seem to have gone back and forth on this path many times. You can imagine one direction is heading toward the camp that you've already cleared. What the other direction is, you're not certain, but you can imagine it's probably another camp, or at least leads toward another camp. And you see the footprints that you're following lead to these tire tracks and disappear in the tire tracks.
All right. Well, somebody. It looks like they got into the cars here, or. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can I evaluate the tire tread to see if I can dictate which way it was going?
Yeah, what would you like to roll for that?
Technology. Or yeah, I mean, I think that's the closest one.
Yeah, I think we could argue that.
I rolled a 4 total.
How do you keep doing that?
2 ones and a 2.
How statistically improbable, or we're Wrangler. It's all right. We got this. You
Okay,
got
these
this.
are like radial tires. You can't tell the difference. It's not my fault. It's the tire's fault.
Sounds accurate.
That's what I'm telling
them.
them. That's what I'm telling them. Can't tell the difference. Radial tires. Can't be done.
She says as if you understand what that means.
Sounds convincing.
Well, we know what's that way.
Yeah.
I don't know about what's that way, but whatever it is, it's got to be big enough that they have their own wheels. So, what do you think?
I mean, I think we should probably check out the camp, or where we believe the other camp to be, just to get a view and get some eyes on it, since that is unfamiliar territory, right? Here. Okay.
Yeah, unfamiliar, and also your mission, technically.
Yeah.
So.
I know it seems like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like it would be kind of dumb to head back towards the place that we've already hit. Why would they not go to the one that has still some semblance of reinforcements? So if they're holding anybody anywhere, that would be my guess.
Agreed. I think if we do think we're getting close, I think if you can, Ivy, maybe lead us on a route that's not quite the main road. We probably don't want to leap in guns blazing yet.
I think we should head up. Is there a hill or anything, like on either sides of the road?
Yeah, it kind of seems like if you were heading back to the camp that you already know, that kind of leads downward, not quickly, but just very gradually leads down, and the other direction very gradually leads up. And it's all thick trees and just very jungle atmosphere.
Okay, so we could still follow the road, even if from the tree line in the forest, kind of, even if we were like 30 feet in or whatever, just to kind of monitor where we're following.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea. So, yeah, and Ivy would just say, all right, we're heading into the tree line, so just remember, watch for slippery rocks, don't touch anything pointy, and if it hisses at you, for the love of God, just don't grab onto it, and let's go.
Dude, that was one time. One time.
One time at all it takes. All right, I'm just a recommendation for all. I don't want to suck any venom out. That doesn't even work.
I didn't lose the leg.
Well, thank God. But let's just keep on moving, everybody. She'll just head on up that direction. I love you both so much.
All right, so I assume that Ivy is leading this charge. I'm gonna have Flash and Wrangler make an alertness roll for me. I'll let you do survival if you have that, but if your alertness is better, do alertness.
3.
6.
Emily, your dice are not happy with you today.
Look, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. That's all I can do in life.
With Flash's success, Ivy, I'm gonna give you an upshift to your survival roll.
Nice. So that
leading them through
means I have a D8, so I would roll a D10 instead and everything under it. Oh, man. And then a 16. Okay, so 16.
Reasonable. Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Not bad.
So I'm going to say, especially from the scene we kind of previously set up and from Wrangler's alertness fail, what happens?
I genuinely believe that after the conversation about the snake bite, within 5 minutes there was a snake, and You just hear the scaring little footsteps of Wrangler going, I'm going to boop the snoot. And Ivy just like reaching back and grabbing the back of my collar and yanking me back.
Nope, no.
No.
What did I say? What did I literally say? It hasn't even been 10 minutes.
I, in my defense, forgot.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. We're gonna get killed before we even get there.
No, we're not. It's fine.
Would it help if your goggles were down? Would that be more helpful?
Don't patronize me.
All right. I'm sorry.
He was a cute snake.
He was, but very, very toxic.
Big
Do not.
boy.
Yeah. When they get those big cheek pouchies, don't touch them. They're not nice. Danger noodle. Have you ever heard the expression?
There are
No
no
ropes.
danger noodles.
No ropes.
There are only
No
noodles
ropes.
you can't touch. None of them are dangerous.
Jesus. And then she'll just shake her head and just walk on. Oh, that was amazing.
Continuing on, you're staying away from the actual like trail itself, just in case any people are patrolling or any other vehicles kind of go by. As you're walking, you're not seeing any sign of people on these roads, but you are noticing some of the trail kind of like dips down into various like potholes that are just full of just muddy, mucky, almost like green water at this point. And you're kind of noticing that while the jungle itself is getting like thicker here, you're hearing less and less wildlife.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, less and less, and you don't really hear any sounds of people yet, but you just kind of have that feeling that like people are around this area more often. And
Okay. While we're heading there, and we're entering, it seems like kind of like more of a marshy area, I guess would be the word. Okay.
yeah, a little bit harder to trek, but
Okay. All right. We might just be getting towards people, and that's why it's quietening down a little bit, but this is going to be a little rough up ahead. It's a little squishy. I have something called a perk, I think, just from being an adventurer with rough terrain. If we have any issues getting through, Carrie, can I kind of help out so that it's not so squelchy if there's anything that looks like it might be really problematic to get through
absolutely.
without a clear cut trail?
Yeah, what does the perk say?
So it says, I may spend a story point as an action to allow my allies to ignore difficult terrain penalties. I didn't know if that would be helpful at all. And then it just says, environmental expertise, ignore penalties for rough terrain.
Awesome.
And just for poops and gigs, Carrie, there's no signs of any other creatures that would be something that we should look out for of the four-legged variety or anything else large and in charge.
Four-legged or
Sasquatch,
you know,
if you-
toothy.
something with large teeth.
I would say with your earlier roll, you do see some old, like markings on a tree. Looks like a cat was like sharpening its claws. But it does look old. It doesn't look like it definitely has been like weathered over. So it doesn't look super recent, but it's not out of the question.
Ivy will just like stand back up from looking at the tree, and she's just like, that would be adorable if it wasn't so goddamn terrifying. But yeah, everybody, big kitty, just keep your eyes peeled.
Danger mittens.
Danger mittens. Oh, we are learning so many words today.
Wrangler, one of these days you're gonna get in trouble for trying to pet something that you really shouldn't.
Do not pet the leopard. Do
If
not
that's how
pet
I
the
go,
leopard.
if that's how I go, it's good.
Not a bad way to go. Yeah.
It's a good way to go.
It actually would be pretty badass.
Mhm.
All right, you have my permission to pet the kitty. Just have your have your catnip ready. I'll see if I can track any.
Flash, you heard that, right? You're a witness. You heard it. She said I could pet it.
Oh yeah, I'll attest to that.
Thank you.
You happen to catch it, just throw it at somebody like that movie I watched recently, which was very good. We'll find the boys eventually. We'll get there when we get there. They're fine.
They're
They're
fine.
We're obviously
They're
so
fine.
concerned about them.
So you bet we'll have some good stories from like, hey guys, sorry we took so long, but guess what?
We saw so many animals. You don't even know. And we
Danger Noodles,
touched
Danger
all of
Mittens.
them. Yeah. We actually brought them back to the camp. Want to go look at them? All right. Sorry, everyone.
Oh.
You're pushing on for about 3 hours in, and you are just still following this vehicle trail, and you are soaked now at this point from just the heat of the jungle. Your boots have probably gotten stuck in some mud occasionally, but Ivy comes and kind of helps pull them out with that like sucking sound as your boot's coming up out of the mud. And for the most part, Ivy is able to kind of like show you the more solid places to step, kind of leading this charge. Occasionally you hear sounds that are only home to jungles, and there are moments where you kind of like, every time, it doesn't matter what conversation is happening, it doesn't matter how joking you are or how much Flash or Wrangler might be arguing at the moment, whenever Ivy holds up her hand, dead silent. Because she'll say, guys, quiet down. If it's something not too important, but when that hand comes up, that is, we might die if we don't shut up right now, so we should probably shut up right now. And there's silence, and you just see Ivy's eyes like scanning the terrain around. And then when the hand goes down, it just picks up right where you left off.
See this, pointing to the mud and the shoes and all that. Probably after like the third or fourth time she's gotten stuck and Ivy's had to come and like unstick her. And then of course probably unstick them from each other because we're all so sweaty we just stick to each other. So like, see this is why you fly places. Why walk when you can fly?
This is definitely not the most pleasant. It's not fun going through the mud. However, are the mosquitoes bad right now? How are the mosquitoes situation?
I'm gonna flip a coin.
And she'll, depending on what happens, Ivy will just take a little scoop and I'll wait to see what gets.
The mosquitoes are bad.
Okay.
Yes.
You will thank me for this later. And she's just going to start smearing it while you're still stuck in the mud. She's just going to smear Flash up a little bit on your arms and stuff. I know it smells. You're going to not be itching tonight. I'm telling you. Trust me. And I'm just going to I'll rub a little. I've done the wrap my jacket around my waist maneuver because it's hot as heck. So I'm now just tank topping it and muddy as well because it's too damn hot.
Probably taking the jacket off as well, and with my feet stuck as Ivy's like slathering, I'm like, oh god, no, and like tip over and then try to kind of crawl sideways, but my feet are stuck. And
do not sink more in. Oh my god, Wrangler, for the love, oh Jesus!
When you call for Wrangler, you see Wrangler swatting away mosquitoes. He's getting very upset, and she's like reaching for her flamethrower. She's like, I'm done.
There's an easier way. Just, it stinks. Here. And then I'll just chuck a mud ball at her. Just rub it in. It's good for you. Sorry. Goggles down. My bad. There you go.
Flash will now have like matching Wrangler, the like eye thing, but purely because she still has her aviators on.
Just like a mud splatter.
Yeah.
Still somehow looks badass. I don't know how you pull it off, but well done. All
Thanks.
right.
And she'll just like spit out a chunk of dirt.
She'll be like, Wrangler, come here a sec, will you? We need your wrench power.
Okay.
Flash, just hold on to the wrench and we'll just pull you out.
On the alley-oop. 1, 2, 3.
Oh God. There might be poop in this mud. I apologize.
You say that now?
You say that after you throw it on our faces.
Yeah, sorry. Rinse your mouth out. Don't get Giardia. That was a mistake. My apologies. Here,
This is how you get dysentery.
Yeah, sometimes. Just rinse here. Rinse. Give the old rinse-a-roo. Hey, you were boozing it last night. Just give yourself the old 7 a.m. after a bar swish of Jack Daniels. You'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
See, now we're talking. All right. Ivy's just paying attention. She's just really listening and making sure we don't hear voices, car sounds, anything that sounds like there's people. So she's just listening.
Perfect. As you're continuing to move through, it's probably, if you were just walking on the trail, it might have been a little bit easier, but it takes about an hour off the trail just because of how crowded it is. You're moving very carefully. You're careful not to get stuck again, and you're keeping a careful eye on that trail as you're moving forward. And after about an hour of that travel, Ivy, you hear the sound of chatter. You hear two people talking up ahead. You can't see anybody yet, but you kind of hear that just low rumble of like two voices conversing.
She'll put her hand up, and she'll turn around and just with her finger to her lips, and then she'll point in the direction. Can we tell how far away would you say, Carrie, they are? Like 50?
If you had to guess, probably around 60 feet or so.
Okay.
But there's so many trees between you and them that you don't have eyes on them.
Okay.
You just hear that rumble of voices, and it doesn't sound like they're trying to be quiet or anything. They're just talking to each other at normal volume.
Okay. Ivy will turn around and say to the other two, how quiet are you two if we get a little closer to listen?
I travel light. I can be quiet when I need to.
Wrangler?
Flash will just like stare pointedly at Wrangler's massive wrench.
Do you want to say behind real fast?
Yeah, I think that's best. I'm not super stealthy.
That's all right. If we can sneak up a little bit and just see if we can hear what they're talking about and give it a little listeny-loo, as the kids say. That no one says that.
As the kids say, nobody says that.
Definitely don't. I think I just made it up.
Let's see. Is there stealth?
There's infiltration.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I will have the two of you roll that for me, please.
Woo! All right. So
Right.
6.
5.
Okay. That's pretty good.
And
Pretty
Lily's
good.
like, the fuck?
God damn it.
Is there anything that Wrangler is doing while she's hanging back as they're moving forward?
Everything.
She's probably doing like weird little like practicing stealthy things. You know, like when you're a kid and you're like hugging onto the wall and you're like because she doesn't have anything like to contribute and she doesn't like that.
Yeah, as they move forward, you like do that thing where you shuffle up to the tree and like put your back up against it and you're like peeking around the tree to watch them go, but they've already disappeared from your line of sight, and there's this moment of like, well,
Your Kronk from Emperor's New Grooving.
Exactly that. Yeah,
I
I'm doing
love
the dana
Wrangler.
dana.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Fantastic. So let's see here. As Flash and Ivy are getting closer, moving very, very quietly, it does take a couple minutes just because it's hard to move super quietly in a lush jungle. But as you get close enough to at least see, you see 3 people. You see one tent. It looks like it probably housed the 3 of them. You see a kicked out campfire, and there is a table right outside of the tent that has a few things on it you can't really see from your position. You see one person is leaning over the table, and they're writing, or their hand is doing something at the table. and the other two, the two that are having the conversation, are standing closer to you. You're not super close to them yet, but they are standing with their backs to you and kind of like looking in at this other person. And you hear their conversation now. It's nothing, it's mostly about they're kind of running out of food. They're going to have to go back to the main base soon. Stuff like that.
Can we see what they're wearing?
Yes. They are in almost like army greens, but not official. You can see they seem to be various shades, kind of like it was just thrown together to attempt to camouflage themselves in this jungle. You do see the two that are standing with their back to you. Even from behind, you can see what looks like a rifle that they're holding. Each of them are holding a rifle.
I will look over to where Ivy is and gesture like, "You want to get them in here?" And I'll like pull out my boot knife as I say it.
Just silent.
Sneak attack.
Velociraptors.
How close are they to the edge of the foliage?
Pretty close. In fact, one of them kind of seems to be like on and off, leaning against the tree, and then kind of standing back up straight. They seem restless.
Okay. So I'll be like, you get one, I get the other, go same time, and drag them back in.
What about the third? But what about the third one? Is the third one like able to see the other two? Maybe.
Yeah, the third one could potentially see you from their side. Like,
Okay.
you can see the profile of them, like the side of their face.
Okay.
So too much attention, they could look over and see you, but their attention is currently at the table.
Okay. All right. Stabby, stabby. Okay. How is Wrangler close enough that we can point to her, or are we totally not in eyesight anymore?
I would say that waiting for them, she does get a little restless and she moves up to within eyesight at least, you know? Not close enough to be a bother, but close enough to be within eyesight.
Perfect. And I think you notice that because you hear a noise of like a footstep and you turn real quick and you just see Wrangler in the distance.
Sorry.
All right. And then Ivy would just look at Flash and say, "Okay, we gotta be quick. We gotta be quiet. Just pull him in." And then she'll wave at Wrangler and say, she'll just like put her 3 fingers up, like 3, and then just like wait there, and then she'll say, "Do you have a rifle on you, or do you have anything that
I have a pistol and a wrench that works as a melee weapon.
Awesome. All right, and she'll just put an insignia up, like, get your gun out. Okay.
And she'll pull her gun out and get it ready.
All right. Ivy will pull her what is it? Is it a Bowie knife? Hunting knife. My hunting knife out of my boot.
When I jump on the guy, I'm going to try in 2 hands, one hand going over the mouth, the other one aiming kind of for the neck, clavicle area. Try to get them both at the same time and then just drag them back.
Okay.
Bring the action.
To see how well this is going to go,
Oh boy.
before you roll your attack, I'm going to have you roll another infiltration.
Here we go. Okay.
That was another 5.
Okay.
5 as well.
Okay, a 5 will count as a success here. You have the element of surprise. So now I'm going to have you make your attacks. I'm going to give you both, actually. With that success, I'm going to give you both an upshift.
Oh, excellent.
That attack as well.
So I got a 10.
What?
But I also have sneak attack. So once per turn when using a silent weapon, and you have either an edge or an ally within 20 feet, which I've got Ivy, I deal additional damage. So the boot knife is supposed to deal 1 sharp, but I think in that case it would deal 2.
Fantastic.
Okay. All right, so that is 7, 8.
Both of you kind of look at each other and decide when you're lunging forward. And Wrangler, you're watching this from behind. You see the two of them crouch down super low, taking very precise steps forward. You see, as they both pull out their knives, you kind of see just the blade glisten just a little bit as they're moving it to get ready. And then both of them simultaneously stand up, and you see them reach forward. We see Flash move forward towards the one that was not leaning against the tree, the one that's just kind of standing out in the open. Moves forward, hand goes around, cups, pulls back, and just slices the knife right into the neck, pulls back into the jungle, places them down on the jungle floor, and you see the knife being removed and the hand still kind of just held at the mouth. Ivy, you're moving for the one that was leaning against the tree. And as you push forward, you do the same. You grab onto them, but they were in the process of moving over to lean against this tree. And so you grab onto them and you see that this is probably not going as well as you wanted, and you just yank them back, slam them down onto the jungle floor, go to stab, and as you stab down, he reaches up and grabs onto your hand and does not stab in as far as you would like, and there is still life there. And now we're going to enter combat. So you'll roll a d20 with a snag if you don't have a skill, which means you roll with disadvantage, basically. You roll 2d20 and take the lower. All right, so the order is going to be Flash, the enemies, Ivy, and Wrangler. So, Flash, you are up first. You, after pulling the knife out of the one you took down, you can see they're losing too much blood, and their life leaves them. You kind of take your hand off of their mouth, look over, you see the struggle that's happening. What would you like to do?
I am going to, kind of like a baseball player sliding into base, I'm going to leap the distance to where Ivy is and just slide and try and kick the guy in the head so she can stab him.
Yes. This sounds like Braun.
To the dome! Yes.
Oh,
Let's see. Okay.
field goal.
I got an 11.
Okay.
Good.
So you said you want to help Ivy.
Yes.
Are you wanting to actually do damage to this guy, or are you wanting to give Ivy, like, the help?
I'm wanting to give her the help so she can stab the rest of the way.
Perfect. This is going to be lending assistance. This will give Ivy an upscale, or an upshift, on your next roll.
I'm just gonna skid in with my boot heel and just try and knock him right in the temple so that she can stab him.
Yeah, I think there's this moment where, I mean, he was caught off guard entirely. Like, the stealth rolls were a success, so didn't see this coming at all. Slammed down, air knocked out of him, stabbed, is like holding this knife away, and then just hears and looks over just in time for poof, slamming into the side of the face.
Oh God, this is the worst day ever.
Guys, we're so pro.
You're just too legit.
Too legit, indeed.
Now it is the enemy's turn. And the camera kind of sees, it shifts up and the focus changes to the campsite. And we see the person that was looking down at the table look over. You're in the jungle, like you're hidden technically right now. So I'm gonna roll and see if they see anything.
Ooh.
Oh, but I have to take the lower. So let's see here. They look over and there's this like squinting and they're trying to see something. I'll say Flash, with that success, after you've kicked, you kind of like came up to one knee and shoved your hands on that soldier or that guy's mouth just to keep him from calling out, just because of that success. So this person's like looking over, trying to figure out what the noise was, and the camera at least sees the tent kind of open back up, and the fourth person that you didn't previously see comes out, comes up to the tent and kind of looks over and is like, where did they go?
Bob, Dave, guys.
I failed that alertness, so they're kind of looking around. The one that was focusing on something is like, yeah, I don't know, maybe they had to piss or something, and kind of looks back down. Buddy system is important in the jungle, okay? And the other one is kind of like, yeah, maybe, and is looking around, but they're still not alerted to your presence currently. Ivy, what would you like to do?
All right. This guy's still alive and struggling. Okay. I'm just
Finish
gonna,
him.
yeah. I'm just gonna do fatality, and I'm just going to try to push my knife grossly in between his ribs. Ugh.
All right, I will let you make like your finesse for the knife weapon, or just strength if you have a better one in that.
I'm not super duper strong, so
Sure.
I'm gonna probably say, let me just do, yeah.
Sounds good, and you have the upshift on that as well.
Oh, what? Forgot about that already. Yeah, that's not bad. So that is a 7, 8, 9.
Even though he was kicked in the face, his mouth is being covered, he's trying to squirm away to just yell out. You can kind of hear like the muffled like in his throat and his cheeks, and as you're pushing down, he is fighting you. He is holding on to your wrist. The knife does not go in any deeper.
Come on, motherfucker. Go with it.
What? Go!
I don't think I can do. Oh wait, Carrie, is there? I don't think this will work. One of my things, but I don't think this is the time for it. Never mind, we're good.
What is it? I mean, unless you want to save it.
As an attack, make a survival skill test against your target's willpower. On a success, you could choose to blind or stun your target for 1 turn or knock them prone. They're already prone. But would I be able, if I couldn't like quite stab, would I be able to look, if there's like a rock around, just grab it and like biff him in the head and try to stun him?
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
sounds great. So it is your survival against his willpower?
Yes.
All right, so you got to beat an
Yes.
11.
Oh, I have a lot of dice in this, you guys, so hopefully I don't totally suck. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Oh yeah, this bitch is dead. That's a lot. That's 10, 11, 12.
Perfect.
Can I take the rock and just smash him in the head?
Absolutely. There's
Yeah.
this, and while he's still alive and still conscious, you see the eyes like blinking and kind of rolling a little bit. The body does go quite limp. He is considered stunned. Wrangler, you're a little ways back from this, but you're in a split second, you watched them pull these 2 people back. You watched Flash slide over, like baseball slide over, kick somebody in the head. As he's being kicked, Ivy reaches over, grabs the rock, and just boom.
So I'm gonna kind of move up closer. I'm not trying to get too close because I don't want to alert anybody to our presence, but I'm gonna kind of whisper over to them, just like textbook. Great job.
A+, guys.
10 out of 10. Such a good job. Hell yeah. Badass. 10
I
out of
mean,
10.
it's just like got blood all over it. Yes, it's just like. Are they looking? Are the other ones looking?
I mean, they're definitely like, you know, searching, looking around, but they haven't seen you, so you might want to go this way.
I mean, we gotta kill this guy. We gotta kill this guy, right? Is he bleeding out actively, Carrie? I have to ask for just my own character's sense of morality. Is he like salvageable, or is he totally donezo?
So your knife is still in him.
Yeah, sure is.
So with the knife still in, he's not like in danger of bleeding out.
Okay, I see. Okay,
Easily
right.
remedied.
He's stunned. You know what? I'm gonna leave the knife in there. Grab, and she'll just be like, grab the pit, and then she'll just grab one of his armpits and just drag him back further away from the other guys for a sec. I think we might. Can we ask him if he's seen prisoners come in? Maybe he'll talk. If he's not, we've got 2 more.
Leave him with Wrangler because they're gonna notice these guys are gone pretty soon. So we should probably get back to deal with that.
if we have rope in the satchel, just Ivy will chuck it at Wrangler just to get him all tied up. Okay, just keep him quiet. We'll take out the other two and be back. What do you say,
Quiet.
Flash? Okay.
Got it. Pull out the wrench and kind of give it a twirl. Just stand over his face and just like ready for him.
All right. What's the approach? Where positionally the other two now, Care, out of curiosity?
So from your position that you were at, there's the tiniest bit of like a clearing. It's not far. It's like maybe 15 feet to the table and the tent on the other side, but there are no trees to hide behind for that 15 feet.
Okay. Ivy will turn to Flash and just say, do you want to do the toilet paper ploy?
That could work. And Flash will shrug her sniper rifle off her shoulder. I could even the odds. Take one out.
It's true. I get the other guy. We don't need to talk to these two.
Sounds good. I'll take the one on the left.
Take the one on the right. Okay. I think we're just gonna shoot them.
All right, so Ivy's readying her pistol, and Flash kind of gets down to one knee with the sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy's actually readying her bow.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yeah, hell yeah.
She gonna ready her bow. Okay.
All right, so you will have to move back forward away from where you left Wrangler just to get line of sight on these folks. So yeah, you head over. Let's make another infiltration roll as you're getting closer.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna make it a little bit harder because they are alerted of weirdness.
No. Ooh, I'm gonna use a story point if I can. I didn't do so good, you guys.
I'm also going to use one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's not too bad. I got a 7.
Oh, me too.
My first one was a 3.
My first one was
nope.
Yeah, it was that good. It was real bad.
Okay, so now both of you roll your attacks.
Okay.
So
so would this be targeting?
Yes, shooting is targeting.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh,
that is an 18.
It's not great. It's only a 6.
As they are standing here at this table and you're approaching, both of you draw your weapons and you're preparing to fire. There's some sort of count, 3, 2, 1, and then as you're, drawing back to fire, there is one slight moment where you see both of them notice you. They notice Ivy. Both of them look over. You don't know if it was like the creak of the bow as it was being drawn back, but both of them notice you. They both go to shout something, and as one turns to the other, you hear the sniper rifle fire. And as one goes to turn to the other, that one's head just off into nothing. Body crumbles down, and this one's standing there did not notice who else was there, but immediately looks up from the direction that the bullet seems to have come from, spots you, and as Ivy releases the arrow, it was just a little bit too late, and he'd already moved from that position. Just whizzes right past the ear. He immediately reaches over to the table, draws up a rifle, so startled by the sudden events that have just occurred, and just watching the sniper just take the head off of the other dude, turns and just sprays. Just completely sprays and just hitting the trees, and there's a moment where the two of you are able to just duck back behind the tree that you were using to hide. Duck back behind that, you hear the bullets spraying just off into the distance, and he's just firing, spraying, just waving the gun and kind of backing up to try to get some cover. You do actually hear the table flip, and he does duck back behind that table to take cover.
I will have dropped the sniper because I don't want to bother reloading it at the moment. I'm gonna... Oh, shit. I'm gonna signal... This is a really bad idea. I'm gonna signal to Ivy, we gotta go while he's back there. We gotta go before he freaks out again. And I'm going to draw my handgun and sprint. And I'm going to do another baseball slide. This time I want to try and kick the table. Like, kick it out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, I think Brawn is good for this as well. Brawn or Might. I would let you choose those.
I'm not the mightiest of folks. I'll be speedy and not so mighty. So 13.
Okay. So you do slide, slam into the table. You hear the table bump into him, and you kind of hear him like fumble a little bit. And you are successfully you're also behind cover. You're on two separate sides. You are full. Do you want to build a snowman?
Oh my god!
Just between a door.
So that is
awesome.
where you have ended up, Wrangler.
Fantastic.
You
Great.
are hovering over this man. You see, the eyes are blinking. The stun is starting to wear off. He is tied up. What does he see as he's coming back to full consciousness?
He probably sees me with my goggles on and just the big wrench just staring in his face, just kind of bobbing good morning, sunshine.
What the fuck?
I love it.
You're going to be real quiet for me, aren't you? And I'm going to kind of just wave what is probably about a 10 to 15 pound wrench. I mean, it's sizable in front of him. We're going to be real quiet, aren't we?
He looks down. There's a knife in my chest.
Yeah. And do you think it would feel any better if I and I'm going to fake go for smacking it with the hammer? See? Quiet, right?
Right.
Good.
Yeah. He's glancing around. You see the eyes are for sure a cornered animal trying to find a way out, glancing around. I'm gonna have you. Do you have anything in intimidation?
Oh, I certainly do.
Great, let's roll that.
Let's go!
Well, Stockholm syndrome. Maybe you can make him love us.
Maybe. All right.
Tell us everything we need to know.
I rolled a 5 total.
Okay, I will say with a knife in his chest and your terrifying appearance as he's waking up, a 5 is plenty to succeed.
Amazing.
You see him eyes darting around, realizing he doesn't really have allies nearby or a quick way out. It was probably the sniper shot that kind of snapped him back into real life, and you can already see this huge black eye forming from where he was kicked in the face and hit with a rock.
He's having a bad day.
He's having a bad day.
day.
He quickly forgets about the idea to try to find a way to escape and is just kind of looking around. So what do you want?
Oh, me? Nothing.
Oh,
But they want things. And I'm just here to make sure that you stay quiet and play nicely. And I'm going to take the open-ended side of my wrench and I'm going to place it on top of the knife. And I'm just going to kind of hold it there. Just sit there. So, what's your name? Aiden. That's a really nice name, Aiden. My name's Wrangler. How did you get into the evil business? Was it family business? Did you get recruited? Did you go to college? And I'm gonna start making stupid small talk. Because I really don't know what the other two want to talk to him about because I'm just clueless. Not very smart. In that kind of stuff. And I'm just gonna, ask him about, what did he want to do? Was he wanting to go to film school instead? Why didn't he pursue that?
And as this conversation is kind of starting, we cut back over, and Ivy, it is your turn.
Okay, so I've watched Flash, do another awesome Jackie Robinson move and do another cool slide into the table. Now they're both just on either side. She saw the move down, so as she was running, she just knocked another arrow, and she would just basically come around the other side of the table with it pointed at the dude, and then just take a shot.
Hell yeah.
Okay. 5. I hope that's enough. It's not great.
It is not.
Oh, balls, son of a...
What if you use a story point to make your miss hit something near him?
I'll do that.
That sounds pretty cool.
Would my miss be able to pin his shirt to the door or the table?
I love that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think you slide around, fire, and there's a moment where, like, he closes his eyes, and it swears that he's about to be impaled with an arrow, and it just slams. Flash, you see the force of this arrow was so great that you see it come through the table, like, right by your face. I love it.
And
I
there's
love
this
it.
arrow, like, right in front of Flash's face. It's just like, whoa!
That would be the cut to commercial break part of it.
Now pinned to this table, still holding the rifle, looks directly up at Ivy, who is the only person in line of sight, brings the rifle up and fires.
Oh, I'm so gonna die immediately.
I have never rolled so terribly in my life.
Oh, thank God. I'm happy. So, basically, I shot, missed. He looked up, pulled the gun, and I just took my bow and just spun and like pirouetted out of the way and out of the way, like maybe 5 feet to the right or whatever.
Maybe you dove into the tent that is like right there.
If I could, yeah. If there's any cover, I would just get behind it.
Yeah, you dive into the tent and you land on like the sleeping bags that are in here, so it's a somewhat soft landing, and then you hear the gunfire and the dimness of the tent is immediately just punctured, and as the bullets are slamming through, you see just little tiny rays of sunlight coming through as the bullets are just slicing into the tent itself.
This was so comfortable. Okay, so I'm just on the ground.
And that is his turn. He has the gun still aimed at the tent.
Having seen him just fire at where Ivy was, I am going to come around the other side of the wood peg and just shoot him point blank range.
Sweet. With a pistol?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, make that roll. I'm gonna give you an upshift. You have to beat an 11.
All of the dice.
Okay, I have to beat...
So here's the thing. You have to beat an 11.
Okay.
If you do, he only has one like health left. Like He has 2 health total. So doing damage to him is going to kill him. Okay.
He turns, shoots into the tent with his jacket pinned to this, and Flash is gonna kind of scramble up from where she slid, whip around the corner, come up, put her handgun almost flush to his head, and say, "Hey, you missed one." And
turns and looks. Goes to slump over, and you just hear this like ripping of the jacket from the weight, and then just thuds.
I will immediately jump up, and because I just saw Ivy disappear into this tent and like open and be like, "Are you okay? Do you have holes in you?"
Ivy will just be like, she'll just like look up from the sleeping bag. Is there time for a nap? And then just like put her head back down for a second.
And as your head slumps down, we cut back over to, there was like intense music happening while this fight was happening, and then we cut back over to just the silence of our prisoner. And he's just like, "No, I actually wanted to be like a movie director.
I feel like you should do that. Like, that's important for people to do the thing that's really important to them. Like, you didn't want to do this. Like, you still have time."
There are so many directors, though, and like, I don't know.
But there's only one you.
So wholesome.
Yeah, I guess.
Guy Joe and motivational speaker, everyone.
That's what you gotta do.
A gig.
After we hear the pepper of bullets, I'll be like, "Ooh, either you guys are doing really good or really bad." Career choice changes. great time. Just saying.
And is just kind of looking over towards the sound of the spray of gunfire and then one pistol, pop, and then silence.
Oh, I know that pistol. Sorry.
I don't really know what to say right now. I'm kind of conflicted
Well,
about some things.
I get that. I get that. But, you know, if you tell us the things that we need to know, we might let you live. If you don't, we definitely won't. So, like, your choices are very limited. Either way, we're gonna get what we want. It's just whether or not you're gonna get a chance at what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're rolling the
You were
dice.
so nice a minute ago.
I'm still being nice. It's called honesty. It's the best policy.
What if I don't know what you want to know, though?
That would be unfortunate. But I'm sure you know something that's worth us knowing. I mean, smart guy like you, filmmaker, attention to detail. I'm sure you've seen things that you could help us with. So, when my friends get back, they're going to handle the question because it's not really my line of work.
I couldn't tell.
Well, thanks. I've been working on it. And then I'm just going to start talking to him about my latest projects of like the engines I'm rebuilding and the way that Flash doesn't know all the things I've done to her helicopter. And I'll be like, when she's get here, you're not allowed to say anything. Or I will personally kill you.
How does it still work after you did all that?
Because I'm amazing. That's how.
But it's missing parts. It's missing.
It's not missing parts. They were extra parts.
You're not going to
Sound
put
like
extra
Flash.
parts on a vehicle. The vehicle needs all the parts that it has.
Like, now you're insulting me, and I press a little harder on the knife.
Ah, okay, I'm sorry.
That's the end of my turn. Just witty banter.
Just witty banter. You know how it goes. Slowly wrenching a knife. Ivy will just kind of get herself out of the tent for a sec. Real quick, peek out comedically from the side. Are there signs of anybody else around? Just out of curiosity, real quick.
You peek out, and the camera does that thing where it like zooms up really far, and you see nobody around,
Okay.
and then it like zooms back in.
Okay. I mean, we gotta search this place. I want to take a look at what that dickhead was writing, but should we just get Wrangler to bring the dumbass down here?
Why don't you two go and drag him back? While you're doing that, I'm gonna check and see if I can salvage anything from what was on the table.
I'll head back to get Wrangler.
All right,
I will
so
start going through all the
grab-
shit.
I'll grab my
Perfect,
arrow
yeah.
out of the table.
picking that table back up and kind of going through everything that was on it that flew off when it was flipped. As Ivy is coming back, what is the end of Wrangler's story?
Look, I don't care what anybody says. If you have radial tires, oh, hey, what's up? And
Are you seriously talking to this guy about the radial tires?
We had
no.
a lot of talks.
No, we haven't.
Interesting.
We have been silent like mice, like I was told to do. Right? Presses a little harder.
I didn't hear you
Oh,
down
quiet!
there, so you did great.
See? Told you so. But he seems willing to talk at this point. I'm gonna
So
like
willing.
help him
Smart.
get up.
Smart guy.
So where's Flash?
She's searching down there, but can this idiot walk? Idiot, can you walk?
I can.
All right, let's go, idiot. Do we have to drag him, or is he? I feel bad calling Carrie an idiot because I like her so much, but fuck this guy, he's a douchebag. Can he walk, or is he just like Stabby McKnife chest and he can't really walk?
Stabby McKnife chest.
That's his
The
name now.
new G.I. Joe toy.
Red shirt in the Star Trek. He dies first.
He's a
Stabby
red shirt.
McKnife chest.
Stabby McKnife chest.
I don't want to be that guy.
I'll say it's your choice. You can let him walk, like he
Aw.
can walk. He's just very slow.
Okay.
Or you can drag him along. You imagine dragging him might hurt him a little more. You're
I don't
not
have the-
sure.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
have
not.
time. Just get up, dude. You can do this. Come on. Maybe we'll get that knife out of you a little bit, idiot. Let's go. She'll just start trucking back. And as we're walking, she's just like, so 3 other idiots down there. We took care of them. Flash did a little bit better than me. We don't need to talk about it. It's fine. What's done is done. But there might be some info down there. Is any secrets we need to know about? And she'll look at us, idiot. I don't know what his name is. Stabby McKnife chest or whatever.
Okay.
We killed Flash. No, Flash, we need you. Wrangler, don't you start.
Can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm dying.
Oh,
I'm trying not to
Stabby
choke.
McKnife chest.
That's-
Oh God.
I have no idea what was just asked.
I don't even remember. Oh, I said, is there any surprises down there, idiot?
Oh,
I think
right.
was my smarmy.
I was like, I
questioning.
know there was a question targeted towards me, and I don't know what it was. No. Secrets like what? I don't what.
Are there any
Maybe.
dangers we have to worry about? Do you have any reinforcements coming anytime soon? Anybody expected to arrive? What are we talking about? People on the scene here?
No, nobody's coming. We're the scout group. We're supposed to go back and report what we found.
When are you supposed to report back?
Anywhere from 2 to 5 days, depending on how cool stuff that we found. We didn't find anything, so that's what we were talking about. We were contemplating. And he kind of like looks down at the knife. Oh, we were contemplating whether or not to go back now or wait a couple days.
And any sightings of some fellas that are not part of your crew of the idiots?
No, the only other people that we've seen are you. I mean, one of our trucks went by this morning, pretty early,
Which direction?
heading up, and kind of like motions toward, and then he's kind of like, "Wait, are you why Camp A went like no communication? Did you go to Camp A? Were you at Camp A?"
No, doesn't ring a bell. So, moving on. So what's up there? Is that Camp B?
Yes.
Oh. Tell us about Camp B.
What do you want to know about it? It's a camp. Excuse me, I have a knife in my chest.
There's a frog in my throat. There's a knife in my
There's
chest.
a snake in my boots.
Oh,
Huh.
this poor bastard.
There are not tents. It's huts. Like they built. They're set to be there for a while we look.
Or
Just gathering intel.
On.
The jungle.
Oh. So you're botanists?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really believable. And I'm gonna take my wrench and just tap the end of the knife.
That's
So try
really nice.
again.
Okay.
I'll put my hand behind his back as she does the little bit of a tap to make sure
Oh,
he's got a
little love tap.
little bit. Yeah.
Let's
What's that, friend?
Let's have you make another intimidation roll, Wrangler. We'll
Yeah.
give you an upshift as well for Ivy's assistance.
Aggressive
yeah.
back pat.
7.
Yeah, there's this tap and this like push on the shoulder, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, no, that was a lie. God, no, we're looking because we believe that there's some technology in this jungle that we can capitalize on."
Okay. Well, that seems reasonable enough. I appreciate the honesty this time.
Flash now has all the papers back on the table itself. And Flash, upon looking at all of this stuff on the table, you actually see they have been mapping out the trails that they are creating to each campsite that they have. So you now have access to every campsite location that they have mapped out in this jungle.
Nice.
And it's not like, it's kind of like the movie The Road to El Dorado, how the map has like a landmark to kind of tell you where something is. It's kind of like that. Like there are various like landmarks on here, like huge tree with split branch or something, and it kind of has like a little it probably actually has a Polaroid of that tree on the map itself, kind of like taped to it. And they've drawn out the best that they can, like trails and roads. So it's a handmade map, but it seems accurate enough, kind of looking at where the old base was and where you are now.
Can I discern from looking at it where the base is that they've taken the Joes to, most likely, at the end of the road?
You know, I would like for you to roll for that.
15, 16, 17, 18.
Okay. You can see Camp A was definitely the smallest of the camps. Camp B is a little bit bigger. You see this trail goes up and actually splits off into like a Y. And Camp B is on the left side of that. Camp C is a little bit further down the right side, and it looks like a very large camp. I will say, with that success, if you had to guess if they were in fact taking the Joes prisoner somewhere, it'd probably be in Camp C.
Okay. As the other two show up, I'll kind of call whoever's closer and be like, hey, I think this might be where they are, and show them on the map.
How far as distance from where we are now to Camp C? Like how far a trek does it look like it would be?
Judging based on like where you are now and where you came from, that took you about 4 hours to get here. You imagine you're probably looking at another 4 or 5 hours to Camp C.
Okay. Can anybody are everybody okay? You're okay, right, Flash?
I'll like pat myself down. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. Wrangler, you
You
look
okay?
great. Oh, I'm okay. I just took a little nap back there. And Wrangler, you're fine. You're doing great. You look good.
Yeah. All body parts accounted for.
All right. So
I am not doing so well.
Shh, no one asked you.
Right.
now, sweet idiot, is there anything else that you could tell us that we would need to know before heading to this Camp C? And it would be wise of you to tell us the truth, because as you can see, it's not a good idea to lie.
Why are you going to Camp C?
I don't know if you need to worry about that.
Well, I could argue that I do, because then I know what information to make sure that you get, because, I could forget some things. Like, I don't know, what if you're going there to just kill everybody, and I'm like, oh, yeah, and I leave out some super, like, there's also a treasure hidden under the truck with the license. I don't know. But,
Is there a treasure hidden under a truck? Because if there is, I would like to know.
Very intrigued with the treasure.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, there's no treasure. There's probably weapons and stuff, I guess, so that depends on your definition of treasure. But what I'm saying is, the reason that you're going, I might have more precise information for you. And you can see he's like sweating now. Like he's not doing very well.
Oh, this poor son of a bitch. Ivy would just look at the two actual military personnel as the civilian in this scenario. So, I mean, just troop numbers. I mean, what else do we need? Weapons? What's there? What's waiting for us?
Well, I think given how much this guy already knows, it might not hurt to tell him exactly what we're looking for, because it is kind of important. You don't store people in the same place you store weapons. I tell you what. And Flash, whose only previous contact with this guy was icing his mate and then kicking him in the head, will kind of take off her aviators, and she's still got some like blood stains on her cheek, kind of wipe it off and lean down and like rest an elbow on her knee and say, Tell you what did you say your name was?
I did.
Aiden. Great, cool, great name. I have a cousin named Aiden. Aiden, I tell you what, I may not be a medic, but I can do a few things here, and we do have some medical supplies. So if you help us out, I'll try and patch you up a little bit. That sound okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. We happen to be looking for some friends of ours, a couple of Joes who are with us who seem to have unfortunately gone missing, and although there's still a possibility that they went out for a good time and didn't invite us, we think that they may have been grabbed by some of your folks. So what all should we know if we're going after them? And then she'll start like opening Vax's kit and kind of rummaging through.
Well, sorry, knife in chest. If they were taken, they're definitely in Camp C. That's where our, not cells. We don't have cells. We just have like a building that we kind of throw people in when they're not supposed to be seeing what we're doing. So they're probably in there. They'll probably be chained up, especially, I don't know, are they scrappy?
Very much so.
They're definitely chained up.
One of them, I'm pretty sure, has at least 9 lives.
Oh.
But every time I think he's run through them all, he still miraculously survives stuff. The other one, great with a med kit, so he's seen his fair bits of scraps. And the other one, do not let him near matches or explosives.
His blood's got to be at least 20% like gunpowder at this point.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he smokes
very,
it.
very concerned about this fact. He's like, kind of looks off in the direction that you think Camp C would be, like relieved that he doesn't see any smoke. He's like, okay, well, yeah, they're probably chained up, or dead, and kind of flinches like that. I'm just telling you how it might be. I'm just the messenger. If they fight too hard, a lot of the times they just don't want to deal with it. But the people that they take, usually it's for trade. They want something, especially from the Joes and the Janes. Like, they're tired of this group, and you have a lot of supplies. You have a lot of. He like thinks he's talking himself into a hole for a second, so he like resets and he's like, okay. If they took your friends, they probably didn't kill them unless they fought tooth and nail, and then they had to. They would have to be traded for something, so they have to be holding them alive. If you untie me, I can draw you a map of our camp. I can show you what is where. I can show you where the prisoners are being held. I can show you where the guns are being held. Whatever you want, I will do that after healing if I live.
How about you draw the map and then I patch you up, because we're not too quick to trust you right now, Aiden. No hard feelings.
I just gave you a lot of information, and
you gave us a lot of vagaries.
Well, the way I see it, and he kind of looks down, I don't know if I'm going to live through this knife being pulled out, so save my life and I'll draw you the map.
All right, and she'll kind of like crack her knuckles and then pull out like a trauma kit and go to work on this guy.
Okay, so who's pulling the knife out?
I am gonna pack stuff all around it and put a ton of pressure on it so that when it is pulled out, he doesn't bleed out. So I'll look at both Wrangler and Ivy and say, okay, whoever's not squeamish, on 3.
Ready for my knife back.
Math.
Yeah.
That's a 16.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Let's see here. So I was setting it at challenging because a dude, he has a knife in his chest.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
He loves it. He loves it.
So I put it at challenging, which is a 15. And we rolled a 16. So
oh man.
Nice.
there is this, like, as you come up, you grab onto the knife and you're bringing up everything to like pack it around, and
I pack it around and I take like a wad of gauze and like stuff it in his mouth. I'm like, bite down.
And it's the quickness that the knife is pulled out. Just and then just immediately just packing to keep from bleeding out. And you see, before you're even able to really do anything, there's this scream muffled by the gauze, and then he just like passes out. And that's kind of good because then you can lay him down and actually start working on trying to bandage up this wound. As this is happening, as this like chaos and hands are moving everywhere, the camera kind of like changes focus and sees Wrangler in the background. What is Wrangler doing?
I think she has completely like checked out of the situation. Like she's lost, and she's like looking at their notes and all this stuff, and then she's noticing their tents and like looking, and they're like, why do they have nicer sleeping bags than we do? Like, and then she turns back around. She's like, oh, that is a lot of blood. Oh, and he's out. Did y'all need help? Sorry.
You got this. This is actually a best case scenario. It's better if they're unconscious for this part.
It's less loud, obviously.
How's it looking, Flash? Is he gonna make it?
I think squeamishness aside, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna have a gnarly scar and probably ain't gonna breathe right for a while, but he'll be all right.
He'll
only
live to
need
see
one
another
lung.
day.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. Well, at least I got my knife back, and I'll put it back in my boot.
I'll just finish like wrapping him up.
Yeah, so I think you bandage him up and you kind of know that he's not going to wake up right away. So you kind of just let him lay there for a little while. It gives you a moment to kind of sit and have a bit of a rest here. There is some like bottled water and canned food.
What do they have cans of? Anything good?
Garbanzo beans.
Oh.
Oh, I love those. Nice. I had those for dinner tonight.
That's weird.
That's a little weird.
Then Ivy would just sit down a little bit. She would actually go in the tent real fast at a canteen, take one of their sleeping bags and wet it down slightly and just rub some of the mud off of her, get some of the blood and the grossness off, and then just crack open a can of beans and just kind of lean against the table that fell over it and just start chowing down.
Flash will finish wrapping the guy up. Go back, get her sniper rifle from where she ditched it. Just clean off her gun, reload it, make sure she's all set, and then probably spend the rest of her time looking at the maps that they have and just trying to see if she can find out any more clues for what they're walking into.
I think I spend that time. I'm looking at the arrow that like Ivy like lodged into that table, and I like take out a little pen on the back of my hand. I'm like sketching out an idea for like a better arrow, which is not going to be better. It's probably not going to function at all, but in my head, it's definitely better. And I'm like, she's going to be so stoked about this.
What are you writing on your hand?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. You'll
It's gonna
find out
come off.
later.
You're sweating. Write it on paper.
And then I look down at it, it's smudged. I'm like, shit.
I told you.
I told you so.
Yeah, so we just see this little time lapse of like the three of you kind of moving around the camp, doing various things, having various conversations. Flash, as you have like studied all of these maps, you kind of begin to see not a pattern necessarily, but Camp A and Camp B both are like pretty close to the same distance away from where they'll all intersect. Camp C is a little bit further away and is much larger. And you just notice some things marked at Camp C that you're not entirely sure what they mean, but they're clearly marked for importance. So you're kind of like noting those and kind of glancing over at the tire tracks. You can tell they're going back and forth, and you're wondering why would a truck be going back and forth between all of these different locations? And you kind of come to understand that whatever is happening here, they seem to be basically funneling equipment or funneling something, funneling people, funneling soldiers, funneling intel. You're not entirely sure, but they are bringing something seemingly from one place to the other. You're not sure which direction it goes even. You're not sure if Camp C is bringing things to Camp A or if it's the other way around. You don't know, but you believe that's kind of what these tire tracks are telling you as well.
I'll kind of relay that theory to the others as we're walking around. I also want to take a quick look at the guys who we iced earlier. Do their uniforms look salvageable if we wanted to use them?
Yeah, two of them were shot in the head.
They just have some brains.
Two of them were shot in the head. One of them was stabbed in the neck. Yeah, I think all of them. They some of them would be a little bloody, but you could probably cover that up with mud easily.
Okay. I am. Oh gosh, I feel like such a heathen. I'm gonna strip these dudes to their undies. I'm gonna grab these uniforms. At one point, I'll like hold one up and be like, "Hey, Wrangler, I think you'd fit in this one." Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's not very flattering, but yeah, it'll do.
They're not as good as our normal shrugs, but if we are super outnumbered, this might be a way that we can get in.
It's really smart. That's a really smart idea.
Flash, that's why they give you the big bucks.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to them about the pay discrepancy. It feels a little unfair.
Yeah. I mean, even I think so.
Yeah.
I call the one that has more blood, less brains.
Don't want all that brain matter.
Not so much. It's pretty gross.
You're taking the jugular wound.
I'll just take juicy blood.
Since I shot the guy in the head, I'll take the brain one. I'll just clean it off as best I can.
Just like
Yeah, a little bit of gray matter on the collar there.
So gross.
She just like flicks it off.
Tastes good. Goes good with charcoal. Goes good with garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo beans in a Chianti.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That was grim.
With our gang, if there's a hell, we're all going to it, and we know that.
Doesn't look good. It doesn't bode well for this crew.
After a little while, you hear, what's going on? Am I dead?
Idiot, you made it. Good morning. How you feeling?
Bad. Really bad. And he kind of just looks down at the patch job on the chest.
I'll hand him like a painkiller and some water and say, "Here, take this. You're gonna feel like shit for a while, but you'll live."
First, can you go in the tent and the sky blue sleeping bag? I need you to go like open it. I need you to dig into it, and there's a bottle of booze, and I just really need it.
Sure, I respect that.
Great.
Oh no, I found that earlier.
Oh,
like I got bored.
Can I have some? Did you drink it? All of it? How are you like standing up? Anyway.
I am incredibly impressive. So no alcohol for you. You draw a map now.
Right. Yeah. And kind of like looks over and struggles to stand up for a solid like 2 minutes, and then kind of like limps over to the table, begins like pulling over some of the paper, and I assume you like found the pen on the floor or on the ground from earlier. Kind of sits there, and you see with intense concentration begins drawing you a map to not to the camp, but like a map of the camp's layout. Takes a few minutes, but he gets started on that at least. What is everyone doing towards the end of this? As he's kind of like finishing it up, you see he drew like it's a wall, but he assured like there's no wall there. He's just kind of drawing a circle to like represent the camp boundaries and everything, and you see him drawing various buildings and bridges, so you can tell this is more of like a either marshy or maybe even like some sort of river or something. You're not entirely sure, but he's drawing various bridges that lead across other places too. this seems like a big base. What are some points of interest that you would have asked him to draw out on this?
I would have asked him to give all of the environmental details to Ivy, like give her the full rundown of what kind of flora and fauna we're running into. And then I would have asked him where on the map he thinks the prisoners would be kept and what we would need to know if we were going to try and infiltrate the camp wearing the clothes that we're now wearing. Is there a passcode that we need? Is there a specific check-in for this scouting group? Where would we be expected to go? Just basically how to walk and talk like one of these guys.
Okay, so he does tell Ivy there's no like flowing water here at all, but it is like a swamp basically. There are places of just brown and green stagnant water. So the bridges were kind of built to go from like deck to deck basically. They've built quite a structure on top of this marsh here, probably because it had the least amount of trees, so they had more of an opportunity to build around. So once you're out of the tree line, there's no tree cover at all. There are a few buildings, they're more like huts, that are kind of more on the outskirts of the northern side of this camp. These buildings, they hold sleeping quarters, they hold armory, they hold communications. He actually like circles the communications hut on the map and says, you know, if they radio in for any sort of help, that's going to be where they're going to do that. And then the other building is where the prisoners are kept. So all of those are pointed out to you. There's also this basically parking lot of sorts that this it's more like a ramped deck that kind of comes up. Vehicles are pulled up on it, and you see he begins to draw a road that leads away from camp on the other side, but he's never been that way. He just knows that's where the vehicles leave, so he kind of like draws the beginning of that for you. As for the Cobra clothes, he's like trying to find a way to say it, and he says, well, the clothes will be convincing, but we don't really have any women at this base.
Dang. Man, and I already thought you guys sucked and were boring, but geez.
Well, it wasn't my choice.
So it's just like a big sausage fest here. There's no girls anywhere, really?
You know, that kind of pans out for Cobra if you really think about the backstory.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
Because I don't know any women who'd want to hang out with you guys.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, you're hanging out with me right now, so.
Hanging out and interrogating, two separate things. Yeah.
I don't really feel very interrogated right now.
Do you want me to make you feel interrogated?
Not really.
Then be nice. How deep is the water?
Like thigh, mid-thigh. Enough to slow you down.
As a worst case scenario, we'll just have to do an Academy Award winning performance, everyone. If it comes to that.
Also, it's a pretty busy place. People have jobs to do, right? And there's a chance you might not be noticed if you look like you're doing your job.
That's fair. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I get through most of my days.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm supposed to be on like weapon watch half the time, and it's really boring.
That's fair. So we could potentially just walk in. We just have to be smart about it.
We just have to be smart about it.
This may be really stupid. Just hear me out here. What if we were coming in as ourselves? What if we were also being taken to where the guys are being taken?
Oh, this plan includes me, doesn't it?
Oh, it very much so does.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I mean, you said you're into film. It's an
I am.
acting, directing.
That is a very good point. And he kind of seems excited, and he's just kind of thinking for a moment of like how this could work.
I mean, you look like you put up a good fight. We could make ourselves look like you did.
This could be your directorial debut.
You get us in and into the building where our guys are being held, and then we get ourselves back out.
And you film it.
Absolutely. We have so much camera equipment you wouldn't even believe.
It is actually pretty crazy how much we have.
Okay, well, what do you have? Like, do you have like drones or something, or?
No, you see this top button on all of our. It's actually a camera. It's it's really great at the Christmas parties. We get to go back and watch all of the times where you guys did something stupid, blew up your own stuff. It's actually really hilarious. It's like a gag reel of the whole year of Cobra. It's literally the only point. It's not like to keep an eye on us. It's literally just to watch you guys mess up.
And then I'll kind of lean into Steve McKnife chest. What's his name? Aiden. And say, look, if you help us get in there and get our friends and get out, G.I. Joe would give you a pardon for that. If you were ever interested in hanging out with the cool kids, it's a lot more fun than Cobra, like a lot more.
Like, we film promotional content. Like, it's a thing. Just saying. You do good at this. We could put in a good word for you. We're like really popular with the Joes.
So popular.
Super popular.
The most popular.
A team. That's what they call us.
They're the B team because they got kidnapped. Clearly.
Clearly.
So what you're saying is, I could be a Joe?
If you wanted.
If you help us get our guys out of there, it's going to go a long way with the Joes. They're very big on camaraderie and loyalty. Just saying, getting a couple Joes home safely goes a long way.
Okay, so the plan is I just march you in as my prisoners? How? There's one of me and there's three of you.
Well, what if
we're delicate females? They don't let females in Cobra. They obviously don't think that we're all that strong.
Right.
Do we have everyone go in, or do we just have some of us go in?
Did you bring that ghillie suit?
You know I did. I don't go anywhere without it. I'm gonna wear that to the opera. If I ever go.
Where are you putting it?
We really don't ask questions.
Never ask a lady where she keeps her ghillie suit.
Sorry, yeah.
It's all right, but somewhere safe, don't you worry. But I do have it. That's one possibility. If we can just get... Yeah, see, if we all go in weaponless. If some of us go in, only some of us go in weaponless, but we can find the rest. Or if we can conceal something, maybe we can get in, get the boys out, and then there's either one or two of us on the outside that can help facilitate exit.
Well,
that's just an idea.
I would say potentially you could conceal at least a knife, probably, potentially a small gun as well. And if we're walking in as prisoners, no one's going to be looking too closely, so it probably wouldn't be too hard to stash away at least one weapon. If we do need someone on the outside, I can cover us from a distance, and I'll just tap my sniper rifle on my shoulder.
I can also, like, carry some of your weapons.
Confiscated weapons. Good thought.
Nice.
And then once we get there, you have them.
And you're really turning over a new leaf real quick. I'm impressed.
Well, that happens when you get stabbed in the chest.
Nothing like that to trigger a change of identity.
Ivy will just stick her hand out and just say, "No hard feelings. I haven't formally apologized. But if you're going to join the team, we a team?"
And like really poorly acts like he's thinking about it and then just grabs your hand and
There you go, buddy. See? I think this could work out pretty well for all of us.
Can I use one of my perks? It's called Quick Study, and it says once per scene, you may use a free action to learn the toughness, evasion, willpower, or cleverness score of a target you can see.
Ooh.
Sure.
I want to know his cleverness score because that'll give me an idea of his ability to be deceptive.
His cleverness is 11.
Okay, so not very, very high chance that he's deceiving.
As you're doing that too, I'll kind of lean over and say, "Hey, look, Aiden, I'm good. Aiden, sorry. I'll be right with you. You get us through this. You help us get out in one piece. I will let you once, if you want to, co-pilot my chopper with me. Once. But if you turn on us, I'm going to send you skydiving without a parachute. Just so we're clear."
Never offered that to us.
I never get to fly the plane.
Hey, that's because you take it apart.
Aiden,
Ivy, you can get in on it. And you look, Wrangler, you have your hands all over that thing. I know what you do when I'm not paying attention.
I don't know what you're discussing.
This
Say that
is
to the missing coolant system.
generous. This is
Give it lighter.
generous. I'm jealous. Frankly, I'm jealous, Aiden.
Okay. Would you be mad if once the fighting started happening, I hid?
That's
No,
okay.
I would actually prefer it.
That's okay. You take care of you, buddy. That's okay.
Yeah.
Just like if you see somebody coming up behind us, give us like a holler or something, so we know what's going on.
Okay. I can do that. That sounds easy enough. So am I taking all of you, or am I only taking one, or?
I volunteer as a hostage. I'm fine with that. I don't know what you two want to do. I agree with the sniper on the outside, but Ivy, it's really up to you where you feel you're most valued.
I'll stay right on the edge as close as I can get and try and find a good vantage point.
The two sides of the camp that don't have like the trails off, they do kind of have not cliffs, like that's extreme, but a little bit higher of land around them. That's why they built it there. It's kind of like walls, kind of hidden in. And they were talking about putting like lookouts at the top of those with zip lines down, but I don't they weren't up when I left, but that was a few days ago. So they could be there, but that means there could also be lookouts up there.
Okay. Are we talking one lookout per station?
I don't know, but
Okay.
probably one or two.
Okay. Well, what we could do is we could try and clear those first, and then you guys go in, and I stay up there at one of those.
That's a good vantage point for sure. Now, here would be my question. If we can get into the base, find the guys, somehow get them out, if we have a diversion on the outside as they're making their escape, we could at the very least draw most of the people outside of the fort or whatever, the base, and give them a little bit of an easier time getting out inside. But that is going to be a tricky timing thing. However, if we do need some big bangs, Short Fuse did give me I got a couple little fun arrow tips that I could always bust out if need be. Boom. So that's what I'm thinking, but I don't know how good a plan.
I mean, they do keep extra cans of gasoline near the vehicles.
Always a terrible idea, and
Yeah.
they do it every time. See,
Every time.
you're on the wrong side, buddy. You definitely need to make the switch. We do not keep cans of gasoline
It's
by
completely.
vehicles.
It's an OSHA violation.
It is a
It's-
big one. Oh,
I mean, they claim that it's just faster to fill them up, but
well, we did blow up one base, and then they just kept the gasoline tanks out. So if you're asking me, it seems like they're
That's-
asking for it.
that's fair.
Yeah, but it's a silver lining in Team G.I. Joe's Cloud. But I mean, what do you two think as far as just the general plan? 2 inside, 1 inside?
I think.
I think you're right that if I can get to the boys and get them unchained, if you guys are on the outside, one as fire support and one as distraction support to help, because once we get them unchained, getting out is the hard part.
Yeah.
So having a distraction that will send everything in a tizzy.
Of course, if it's the vehicles and the gas we're talking about, that's going to be inside the actual compound. So I think, I don't know, could go either way. I'm happy to sit tight at one of the watchtowers, and I can always, if there are zip lines, I can always zip line down if need be. But I think, obviously, Wrangler, you going down, and then maybe Ivy, if the distraction that gets you guys out is going to be inside the camp, you should probably go in too. Just because if it's just Wrangler and Aiden and something does go sideways, that's 1 against a lot, and those are not friendly odds.
I have an idea.
Let's hear it.
So this is best case scenario. We definitely still need a distraction because, well, just in case. But best case scenario, what if we go in and I'm just like, hey, I got these prisoners, and I bring you into the prisoners' room, right? Chain you up. But I don't really though. And then I leave and I go get a vehicle. And I get ready. And what if that vehicle is our escape vehicle? And then we don't have to get everybody out of the camp. We just have to get them to the truck.
Just drive on out.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that'll work really well.
In that case, your cue to get ready, Aiden, would probably be some large explosion. That would let you know we're on our way out.
Perfect.
Cool. So in that case, if we do that plan, I think Ivy and Wrangler should go together in. And then I can cover you guys from a distance and zip line down when big explosions happen.
That sounds badass.
Sounds pretty good to me. Do you want my ghillie suit? I know you've always wanted to wear it.
Oh gosh, yes, please.
While they're discussing that,
badly.
I'm gonna go back over to like the side, and I'm gonna take a button off of my jacket, and I'm gonna find like a bit of wire in my pocket, and I'm gonna like duct tape it to the back and make it look like a little tiny camera, and be like, "Come back, all right, and here you go."
And you put it like on his.
I'm gonna like.
Nice.
One of
He
us,
like
one
he's just
of
like
us.
ramrodded.
Yeah, he stands there like you're tying his tie for prom, and he's like,
I think you're really one of the team now.
"This is the coolest thing I've ever done."
Yes, it is.
If you could just grab some booze too. I am in a lot of pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right here, yeah. And I'll hand him a couple of tablets from the med kit and say, you might need these.
Oh, good. And just pops him.
For what it's worth, Aiden, I am really sorry that I stabbed you. I want you to know that, buddy.
I feel
feel like
kind of
we've
bad
really-
about that.
We've really grown a lot as a team, and I just
Yes.
feel really sore about it.
Sorry, I
Had to put
kicked
it
you in
out
the
there.
head, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. We've
Do
got a really
crazy
funny-
things for our jobs.
His eye is swollen shut, and he's like, we've just got a really funny story for how we met now. So
It's a hell of a meet cute, buddy. It's a hell of a
I'm gonna
meet
make a
cute
great autobiography.
Yeah. Yeah.
for the someday
Kinda like
new Spielberg.
taps the camera.
Oh. I think this is a good plan. I think it's a good plan.
Well, man, you gotta say the thing. If you want to be a Joe, you gotta say the thing.
What's the thing?
You gotta say go Joe.
Oh, but you're not Joe's.
Okay, now you're just getting into semantics.
Oh, Joe.
We'll work on that.
You're gonna have to work on that. That wasn't terrible.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it sounds like we want to first head to. Are we all heading to the lookout thing to clear it, or
Yes,
is
yeah.
Okay.
We
Right,
head to the
okay.
lookout thing, then y'all head down, and I stay up there in the ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit.
And when I pull it out, I'll give it like a little bit of a try to give
Shake.
it a waft. It's I apologize. I do the best I can.
A little
Hey,
musty.
you covered me in mud earlier. I've seen far worse. It's all good.
It gets hot. It might smell slightly worse in here, but it's I'll rub some camphor oil or something in there. We'll be fine.
I'll hold my breath.
There you go. Good Paul. Good life choice.
We cut to the four of you standing kind of in cover, looking at this little lookout area that they have set up. There's no tent here, like nobody sleeps here, but you see a little fire pit, one chair, and you see one guy sitting with a rifle kind of like held at his side, and he's just like overwatching the camp. He's just looking over everything, attention not on you at all. It was kind of hard to get up here. You had to do a little bit of climbing. It was a little hard on, actually, you know what? Aiden probably could not have made the climb, so he probably stayed down. If one of you stayed with him, that's totally cool too. But what I want to know, I don't want any rolls to happen here. I just want you to tell me what the audience sees from this takedown. Like, what does it look like as you're overtaking this overlook?
I think it would probably be similar to what Flash and Ivy did in the clearing. So kind of a silent creep up behind the guy, but this time there's two of us. So one grabs, one stabs type deal.
Are there any like vines up there, out of curiosity, Carrie, like hanging down in the general vicinity? So there's something I can do called environmental weapon, and it says you can use the environment around you as a weapon. I just have to use a survival for that. Could that be something that I possibly do if I wanted to like kind of help choke him out with like a vine?
Yeah, I'll say absolutely.
Okay. Right on. I don't want to stab anyone. I didn't do so good last time.
Yeah, so I'll say you don't have to roll for that either. You just kind of like you see where there's this like hanging of a few different vines. I mean, they've been everywhere, but there's some that are placed perfectly, and as soon as you push up, Flash just grabs on, covers the mouth, drags back, and you just come up with a whoop, just with the vines right over the neck and like twist them and just squeeze, and all of you just kind of like go down to the
Slump
ground.
down to the ground.
Yeah. That was way better. I feel way better about that. Oh, okay. Gross.
Yeah, and you can see from this position here, you can see pretty much the entire overview of the camp.
Nice. I will then don the ghillie suit, get my sniper rifle set up, and I'm gonna crawl right up to the edge so I can see all of it.
Beautiful.
And just say, I will keep eyes on you guys the whole time. Is there in fact a zip line down from here?
There is.
Yes! Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh man. So I'm gonna say, I'll keep an eye on you all from up here. And if anything goes wrong or if anything goes right, big explosions, then I will come down.
Okay. Was Wrangler hanging down with Aiden?
Yes, she will stay down with Aiden.
Yeah, I think because he's not like tied up anymore, obviously. Like, and there's just a little bit of silence as they disappeared. And
I think I'm asking him, like, I'm trying to like lead him on and be like, so give me some direction. What are you looking for? Like, I want him to give me the rundown of like what he wants in my performance. You know, trying to make him feel really special.
right. Well, At first, maybe just try to angle yourself so that like it sees more of, like me, and I'll try to angle myself so it sees more of you. You know?
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
definitely.
a point of view sort of thing. And if someone's like talking to us directly, like maybe try to see both of us, but I don't really know how wide lens these tiny little buttons are. So maybe just shift with the conversation. You know?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, less head turning, more full body
I
turning.
got you.
Got,
More
like a kink in your neck.
pivoting.
You know? Yes, pivoting.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Stellar.
Yeah, and if you can see the explosions, that would be great. I'm gonna do my very best. If I could just be looking away from the explosion.
Yeah, so if I just be in front of you and turn around and you walk away, it would be a
Perfect.
cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna like keep him talking about his different
And then-
plans for shots.
Eventually, Ivy drops back down, like you hear the boots slam against the ground. Oh God.
We got it done. Coast is clear up there. Flash is in place. So now, if anything goes wrong, boom.
Camp C. You two are in the front, you're walking first, and you can see the overlooks that like it does go up pretty high. And upon just glancing, you don't see any sign of Flash. Hidden very well.
Ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit for the win!
And as you are walking in, you do see people moving around everywhere. And you hear Aiden like, okay. Like steady
Great.
himself.
You're doing great.
And as you are walking into this camp, eyeing all of the points that Aiden had placed on the map, that is where we are going to end this episode.
Oh.
This was so much fun. You guys are awesome. This was really fun.
You guys are so much fun. I cannot believe that even in a G.I. Janes and Joe's, we've still managed to adopt an NPC. that takes skill. That takes skill.
One that we brutally stabbed and tortured for several minutes.
I mean, hit him in the head with a rock.
Literally the worst possible way to die is someone like go to sleep as you're slowly driving it towards their heart, and then we biffed him with a rock and then threatened him, and somehow this poor Stockholm syndrome bastard is totally on our team.
That's
now.
gonna be his code name.
Stockholm.
Stockholm.
Oh, poor guy.
But I kind of love him now. Like if he dies, I'm gonna be devastated. Oh God. Let's keep Gabby McKnife Chest alive. We gotta see him through to the end.
Laura's like, oh God, what have you done?
We'll try to rescue the Joes, I guess, but my priority is shifted, everybody. I'm keeping this son of a bitch alive. I love him. Sorry, boys. We're gonna do our best, but I can't make any promises. I gotta see as my new best friend.
No, don't. Go zoom me somewhere else.